Hello, hello. It's Nienke here from ninks.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make this very simple little treat box that will hold Milano cookies. One of those, there's two in a pack, and that's wrapped individually. So you will have your little box, fit this treat perfectly. And it's a very quick and easy one. So let's jump in, and I'll make another project just with a little bit different colors. There I use the Highland Heather and then a sentiment from a different stamp set. I will use one from the Flowering Cactus set and a Calypso Coral. So we're going to start with a normal, just a normal piece of cardstock, 11 by 8.5. And we're going to use our trimmer and just cut off a piece of this. Now we want it to end up being 7 1/4. So I'm going to just, instead of opening the arm, so you can open up the arm and measure there at 7 1/4, but I have a bit of a space limitation, so I'm just going to cut off 3 3/4. So if we, from the 11th inch side, so cut that off. This will then leave you 8 8.5 by 7 1/4. And we want to cut off 1/2 inch from the 8.5 inch side, so that we will have a base of 8 by, what is this one? So this is the 8.5. So I want to cut off 1/2 inch. So let's do this side. 1/2 inch there on your trimmer. There we go, is that straight? That is straight. So now we are left with a piece that is 8 by 7 1/4. Now don't throw away your little cut off piece of 3 3/4 by 8.5. In the next video I will show you how to make a little tea holder with this to go with your Milano treat. So keep that scrap. Move my, oh, we're probably going to score still, so I'll keep my trimmer here. Okay, now we want to score our card base of 8 by 7 1/4 on the 1/8 inch side. I always just use my trimmer to check that I have the correct measurements here. So on the 1/8 inch side, we want to score at 1. So at score, remember to push your cutting blade out of the way and use a scoring blade. Score at 1, 2 1/4, 5 3/4. There we go, 5 3/4, and at 7. So let's just show you. I have a bit of a space issue, but there's your 7 mark. Line it up there and score. So that's on the 1/8 inch side. Then on the 7 1/4 inch side, we're going to score at 1 1/4. 3 1/4, 4 1/2, and 6 1/2. So we need our arm again. 6 1/2 is right there. There we go. So that is our scoring. Now I'm just going to fold and burnish on all of our score lines. Can't remember if I said that this is I'm going to start with a Pear Pizzazz cardstock. I like that color. Okay, so after we have cut and scored, we will have a piece like this. So here you have a little or half an inch or 3/4 of an inch over here. So we're going to start with this piece, and I'm just going to turn that around so I can see my score lines well. So starting with your small area here, I'm just going to cut up the score line past the first score line to the second. So it's the first, the second, and past the first to the second. And I'm going to go on the other end and just remove that piece. And I'm going to do the same on the side. Cut up this and remove this. So you'll have a little flap like that. And then I'm going to rotate and cut to the second score line, and again up to the second score line. And now I'm going to remove leave about like 2/3 of that piece, and the same here. Just going to remove a little bit of that. Going to do exactly the same on this side, past the first score line to the second score line, and remove this score line and a little bit, maybe 1/4 of an inch from the score line. This is going to be our tab, so we don't really mind. And then I'm just going to angle cut this so that we can get a nice fold. So on all of our tabs, it doesn't need to be big, just a little angle cut for a good fold. Going to do the same on the other 2 tabs. So after that, we'll have a little thing looking like that. Just remove this. And then I'm going to grab my trio punch and just punch the corner. So I'm doing these 2 long tabs here. I'm folding those in. Make sure you have it nice and in to the little, pushed into the punch all the way. So we have those 2, and then just do the other side. I love the trio punch. That, and then so we have these rounded, and then I'm also going to round the top part there. So that is the base of our box. Done. Isn't that quick and simple? So now I'm going to just grab some tear and tape. How this will be the bottom. So that will be the bottom of the box. That will be the sides. This will be the top to tuck in. So we just want to put some tear and tape on these 2 outside tabs to stick it to the side of the box. So we don't want that on the inside. We want it on the outside of the box. So I'm just going to add some there. Yep, this tear and tape is so strong. I usually have I just have a little card that I use. Tear that straight. And now it's sticking to my finger. Little card you work using the sharp edge of a card works very well for me. Okay, so there we have our tear and tape ready to go. But before I do that, I quickly want to decorate my box. It's easier to decorate while it's still, you know, not in its 3D form yet, and I can have it laying flat. Just remember that the long part here is your bottom, and this one with a small little indentation here is your top. The other thing I quickly want to do before I forget is make a little finger notch. So I just have a half-inch circle punch. You can get that if you have one, that's great. If not, you can just find it anywhere online. Just cut out a little finger notch there, so that gives you another indication. So this will be your top, that will be the top tab, and you can just grab your little top there and open it. So I have a piece of the Flowering Cactus Designer Series paper, and this measures what? Let me quickly check. It is 3 inches by 2 inches, and I'm just going to adhere that in the middle there to give our top of our box a bit of color. Can't find my silicone craft mat. Oh, probably put it somewhere. Hope I don't get any glue on my surface. Check the orientation if you have a directional paper. Bring mine in the middle right there. Okay, so let's put this out of the way and do some stamping. I have a piece of scrap paper, and with Pear Pizzazz, let's stamp the big heart-shaped cactus. I just re-inked my Pear Pizzazz ink, so it's very juicy. Now I want to show you something that's a fun technique. If you have a very juicy ink pad that I have now, and I want to put some dimension on my cactus, do you see there's like darker spots and lighter spots? I just sort of moved it, slid it off the ink pad, and now you'll see that we have these pieces of parts of the cactus that's darker than other parts. This is a very flat stamp. It doesn't really have a lot of dimension. It's not distinctive at all, so it makes let me show you, it makes a very flat image. So by using different techniques just with your ink and your stamp, you can get different types of forms and depth and styles of that. So we're going to stamp that, grab some Calypso coral and the flower. There you go. Now I'm just going to die cut this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just die cut my images from the Flowering Cactus stamp set, and I just use my dies. I sometimes just pop in my dies with my stamps, and then I have everything in one spot. So I just used those, and then I also die cut a little white rectangle from Stitch So Sweetly. So it is the smallest one. I use the smallest rectangle for that, just in basic white, and then I also die cut of the second largest one, a Mossy Meadow piece, and I just cut it in half. So the smallest one of basic white, and then the second smallest one in Mossy Meadow, which I just cut in half. So if you're making multiples, you can use, it's less die cutting because you can use two of those. Okay, so I'm going to do a little sentiment on this one. It's going to be a tight squeeze, so let's hope I get it in there. I'm going to move this a little bit closer to me, and I want to use the sentiment "You Are a Rare Find." Try and get that in the middle and straight. Let's hope for the best. Give it a, there we go, perfect. And this was with Mossy Meadow ink. I love the clear photopolymer stamps because you can just see exactly where you want to put everything. Okay, now I'm going to add my little sentiment. I hope it's dry enough. I just want to put that on my Mossy Meadow piece, just with a little overhang here. Like that. Get that on there. And then we can add, I'm just going to turn that around because I think I have some glue sticking out there and I can't find my silicone craft sheet. Now I have my cactus and I'm just going to adhere that flat. You can, seeing as it's a 3D project, you can add dimensionals if you want to the cactus too. I'm only going to pop up the little flower, so I'm not going to worry about dimensionals on this one. I'm going to glue that flat to my project, and then my sentiment. Right over here. Mossy Meadows piece is almost in the middle. I would just want some designer series paper to show at the top and the bottom like that, and then add dimensionals. I'm going to use a mini dimensional in a small flower and a bigger one. Big flower, move the backing, and then I'm just going to add that over that piece like so. And then we need, there's some twine that comes in the product medley, this nice calypso coral one and also a nice natural one. I'm going to make a bow using both of these twines. Make your little loop, hold it around, put it through and pull. Whoops, where are you going? And pull tight, and then we just finesse our bow a little bit, get it the way we want it. I always hold the knot, otherwise it's going to make it more difficult. There we go. Those do the same size, looks like it. Trim these ends off. There we go. And I'm just going to, I don't want to cover my sentiment, so let's do the bow. That one thing that's covering the little flower. Where do we want it? Let's see if we get in there. No, there. That's the best way. Have it in like that. So let's get a glue dot. Can I put it down there? Oh, I like it there. Okay, so with the twine, you can just take your pick tool, sorry, I think my arm was in the way, and roll up your little glue dot, whoops, like so, so that it's a round little, I don't know if you can see, and then just stick it to the back of your bow. Let's add that there. Oh, and then I want to use some champagne rhinestones. Because I do like the champagne color. I feel that it goes so well with the Calypso coral. I like that. I'm gonna put a medium one. Yeah. Here. Where do we want it? Let's put it down. I don't know. Okay. Let's do, I'm just going to put it there. That's nice. Then we can maybe put 2 teeny tiny ones. Yeah. Little one there and another little one there. There we go. So that is the top of our box decorated. And then all we need to do is release our backing on the tear and tape. Now, if you want to decorate the sides and put some more designer series paper on there, that will be nice too. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually making a lot of these for an event. So I'm going to leave my box sides just the way it is. Okay, so what you're looking to do is tuck your tab in, align your scored fold edge with your cut edge, and there, then that is straight. Tuck in, align your score edge and your cut edge, fold in your little tabs, and close your box. And there is your little Milano treat holder, and that will if it, let me find a treat real quick, that will fit your Milano treat perfectly. So there is our project for today, a Calypso coral one and then a Highland heather, and you can use either of the papers in the kit. There's a whole lot of nice papers. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.